To my dear friend Doug, I love you. I admire you. I've learned so much from you. You have deeply affected my life and have helped me to become a better human being. Thank you, Doug. I arrived in Dallas in 2005, and I lived there until 2013. You and I have known each other for about 7 or 8 years, I think. Our first contact was when I cold called you on your office phone on a Sunday afternoon. It was a pastoral matter between a rabbi and a minister whose details should not be discussed in public. I remember that I was amazed by your openness and by your willingness to listen to me, by your empathy, your cooperation, and your humanity. And that was it. We didn't have any further contact for quite a while. And then we met again in the hallway of this church, after I had been asked by a wonderful organization called Connecting Our Faiths to be part of an interfaith dialogue at Northway. It was amazing to be invited to speak in public together with the same pastor that I had earlier cold called and had been so impressed by. What a pleasure it was to meet you face to face. It was relatively new and even exotic for me to speak in a church. The event for me was exhilarating. It was a challenge to hear you speak, but it was also liberating to be able to pierce boundaries and really engage with the other in the most honest and sincere way. We participated in additional Connecting Our Faiths events. We began to get to know each other. You invited me back to speak in the church. I did so once, and I did so again and again. We did some special events at Northway, and at one point I came to speak at the Wednesday noon Bible study. Then once a month I used to come and teach together with you at the Sunday evening Bible study. We had many lunches together in which we talked about life and theology and the differences and the similarities between us. 5 years ago, you and I, wanted more depth, and then together, with the help of Robert Hunt and Todd Collier, we founded Faiths in Conversation. The name Faiths in Conversation was your suggestion. It was a great choice of words. We decided on deep topics to delve into, difficult topics. We explored our differences, and again we found our common humanity. You once suggested that we write a book together. Perhaps one day. I'm interested. We became, I think, very close friends. I learned so much from you. On an intellectual level, I learned theology from you, which I love, but I also learned so much and grew so much on an emotional level. I learned to really appreciate your faith. And when I say your faith, I mean that in two senses. One sense is the collective. I learned to appreciate Christian faith in general. The second sense is the personal. I mean that I just loved the opportunity to be brought into the inner sanctum of your own individual personal expression of Christian faith. It was and it is inspiring and beautiful and powerful. It expanded for me the range and the beauty and the truth. Of course, many times the voices of opposition arose within my soul and told me, enough is enough. This is ridiculous. You should not listen anymore. But I actually enjoyed hearing those strident voices within my soul and being able to tell them that I'm not going to let them have their way. I'm on a journey of discovery, and they'll have to sit patiently on the sidelines and suffer. And now, it's coming to an end. You will no longer be the senior pastor at Northway, and after 4 years of traveling once a month from my home in Israel to Dallas to speak and teach and see you, my ministry in this city, as Christians would say, is also coming to a close. Our paths, which once crossed, will now part. I sincerely hope that they will not part forever. As we part at this point, I'd like to tell you that you have changed the course of my life. Of course, you have changed me spiritually, made me a better human being, and I would say a better Jew. But in addition to that, you have helped provide the impetus for a change that has affected everything about my inner and my outer life. It was as a result of my interfaith dialogue experience in Dallas, of which you were at the center, that I made a life change from rabbinic scholar and teacher to interfaith peace activist. As a result of meeting you, I went back home to Israel 4 years ago with the conviction that I must meet my Christian and Muslim Palestinian neighbors. I set out on a journey to do so, and it bore fruit. Just as getting to know you and working with you transformed me, so getting to know them and working with them transformed me and continues to transform me. I helped to create Roots, the Israeli-Palestinian grassroots initiative for understanding nonviolence and transformation. Today I see and I understand and I identify with so much of Palestinian identity that in the past I was completely blind to. Today I see how many of us are blind to the humanity of the other and to the partial truth of the narrative and the identity and the culture and belief system of the other. Today, I am devoting my life to helping Palestinians and Israelis go beyond their refusal to recognize the other. Some of the credit for all this goes to you, my friend, Doug. You've enriched my life, and I'm deeply, deeply indebted to you. I wish you all the very best in life, and wherever you go, I hope and I pray that God will be with you. And I hope that we meet again very soon, perhaps and hopefully in the Holy Land. Thank you.